Introduction. PTSD. I found myself in a fetal position, crying my eyes out as my wife tried to console me. Having had only a few hours of sleep in nearly a month, I was physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. The million thoughts running through my mind were muddled, and the few words I spoke were incomprehensible. The world around me had been shaken up vigorously, which resulted in an explosion of emotion that erupted on that cold hardwood floor. I felt abandoned. The people who had been a part of my life from day one were no longer there. The sensation I was feeling had previously led me to cry out for the comfort of my mama, but in that moment, she was the last person who could ease my pain. Thoughts about my dad had grown so deranged that my defense mechanism was to pretend that he no longer existed. Although my parents were alive and only a few miles away, they were dead to me. I was consumed by grief. Granny was actually dead, and I felt that I had been cheated by her untimely demise and the events leading up to it. For my entire life, during chaotic times, she had been the one person to whom I could turn, but she was no longer around to tell me that everything was going to be fine. Depression and anxiety took on new meanings for me. Leading up to this outburst, I had spent days at a time lying in a dark room, numb and distant. Sometimes I had emotional swings, moments of feeling horrible, then feeling great, followed by feeling horrible again. Other times, there were no feelings at all. When I tried to sleep, my brain was bombarded simultaneously by every thought and emotion I had the capacity to hold. It created a sensory overload that prevented anything resembling rest or productivity from entering. I couldn't find within me the ability to turn my affliction into fuel for perseverance, as I had done countless other times in my life. I lost the optimistic belief that tomorrow was going to be better than today. I was merely existing. I knew where I was physically, but in a lucid moment, I thought to myself, how in the world did I end up here? To introduce myself, I am Reggie Fords, a kid from the hood, a first-generation college graduate, a successful entrepreneur, and a Black man in America. And I live with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is a mental health condition that is triggered by experiencing or witnessing a horrific event. Symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thoughts about the event. Those symptoms sometimes don't present themselves until years after the traumatic event, so it is often underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed, which leads to mistreatment. In a quest to better understand myself, I had to be real with myself about the trauma I had faced in my life and how it had affected me. Admitting that there was something wrong was the first step in the process of bettering myself. Pinpointing the trauma was just another step in living a healthier life. I also had to find ways to treat it. A common misconception is that PTSD is a condition that only military veterans experience. I have never served our country in that manner, yet I have experienced extreme trauma throughout my life, and that trauma haunts me. I'm a firm believer that we all experience trauma in our lives, and that trauma is relative. Experiences that may be traumatic for me may be just another day in the life for someone else, and vice versa. But it doesn't diminish that trauma for either party.